So we're going to do some destructive text effects using Photopea. There's a link to the random word generator if you need some help thinking of words or phrases. That will take you here. You can key in the number of words that you want, whether you want it to be a noun, verb, or adjective. And you can even type in whatever you want your words to start with. It gets trickier once you start doing word endings too. Reality. So you can copy and paste these words into Photopea, but we want to start in Photopea. I'll just show you a couple of ones that I had been working on. Clouds. This is really more on the literal side, which is kind of what we want to steer away from, but I did happen to find a really good custom shape that fit that. So you can try some like that. But the idea is to maybe use these shapes not literally, but in some way that the shape suggests some kind of movement. You can think of the art elements and the principles of design when you're doing this. And I'll show you one that I think uses that technique pretty well. These ones are kind of a little bit more literal just with the shape. It's not necessarily grass, but it's something along the idea of nature. This one was the bullseye shape that I used, but I'm also trying to choose my fonts to match my words if I can as closely as possible. So this one I actually just finished, and I think it maybe without being like a literal airplane or some kind of shape that is more on the literal side. Basically, these lines are really suggesting kind of taking off or moving into the air without actually being a real picture of something that just tells you that visually already. We want to just try to suggest that without being literal, if that makes sense. So to start, you're going to make a new document, and I always choose the photo tab. And if we go with an 8x12, that's copy paper size. So that's a good starting place. And we're probably going to be cropping down from there. So I'm just going to keep my white background at 300 pixels per inch and create. And I already have my word reality from the random word generator. So I'm going to take my type tool, and I'm going to try to pick a font that I think works for reality. Maybe something without a serif. And I like to make my words about 600 pixels. So you may actually have to go in here and type exactly 600. But that's going to fill the space pretty well. So you can just click once and the cursor will appear, or you can click and drag a box out. Either way. And I already copied the word, so I'm just going to hit Control V to paste it. And then I'm just going to click on the Move tool and just bring this into the center a little bit more. So when I'm cutting out, using my shapes sort of as cutouts, I'm going to go to the Shape tool. If I right-click, I've got the ability to use a rectangle, an ellipse, a line, or the custom shapes. Maybe just to start, I'll use the parametric shape. And what we want to make sure of, actually, before we draw our shapes, this was already set, you want your fill to be white. And you don't want to have any stroke. So if it's got the red X, that means no stroke. That's fine. And so as I'm drawing my shapes, they're going to start cutting out, or give the illusion really that these are getting cut out. And you might want to think about the idea where less is more. Right now, this is the active shape. It's highlighted blue. I'm in layer 4. If I want to see what it's looking like without those highlighted shapes, I'm just going to click on the background layer. And there we go. So the last thing you'll want to do is you'll want to take the crop tool and you'll want to get rid of any of that excess background that you don't need. And click the enter button. So there's my design. You're going to file and export these as a JPEG. And you can leave it at the 70% quality, or you can crank it up to 100 if you wish. Either way is fine. And I like to name all my files with the word so I know exactly what it is. It's fine to leave your stuff in your downloads folder. I've actually made a digital design folder where I'm dropping all my stuff into, and I'm going to save it. Then those files can be dragged into Google Drive and added to Classroom. So that's basic destructive text in a nutshell. And then the next videos that we do will take it a little bit to a farther level here.